Please allow me. Detroit Den 313, Detroit Lions fan. Stephen Will back ready to talk some Detroit Lions football. Before we do, please hit that subscribe button if you just stumbled upon us, or if for some reason you've been here but you haven't hit that subscribe button. And think about becoming a member if you want to win some free Detroit Lions stuff. We got signed helmets, we got jerseys, we got gift cards, we got all types of things that you can win just for being a member. There's 3 tiers. Look into it. Think about it. It is not required, but highly recommended. Steve, I'm excited to talk some football. I'm having a good weekend. I did not have to go to that place that you had to go to today. For once, I haven't had a weekend off in quite some time. Got to see my daughter swing the bat and play some softball. Today is a good day. Now I get to hang with you and talk some Detroit Lions football. Will you please lay on the people? What the heck are we talking about?
I hope the rest of your weekend sucks. First and foremost, let's just get that out of the way. Well, I hope it's just one of the worst weekends you ever have. But
sweet boy, you are.
I'm bitter. Yeah, you had the day off. I did not. But day's over. We're talking some football now. Well, I'm still just not in a good place when it comes to this quarterback position. I unfortunately did have to work today, but fortunately that means I got to watch a little film. I got to do a little bit more studying on what I saw from Thursday from a different angle, different perspective, all 22. My opinion has not changed from our post-game show the other day. I still think that the Lions are in deep, deep trouble if something were to happen to Jared Goff. Now, I don't want anything to happen. I want Jared, hey, play all 17 games, play all 18, 19, 20 games, finish the season with a Super Bowl ring on your finger. I can't think of anyone having a better year. Jared Goff, married man, just had a baby girl. Welcome to the girl dad gang. Go out this season, win a Super Bowl. I think 2025 could be a memorable year for the Jared Goff family. But, Will, I like to think of myself as a man who always has a plan of action. And my plan of action for the Detroit Lions is deep shit if something happens to Jared Goff and he has to miss 2, 3, 4 games, because we've talked about this schedule. It's a gauntlet. It's a juggernaut. It's an absolute meat grinder of a season from 1 to 17. Every single team that's on our roster is not to be overlooked. I don't see any breaks in the schedule. So if something happens to Jared, well, I just don't have faith in Hendon. I damn sure don't have faith in Kyle Allen. So, I found a couple options that I think are possibilities, Will. So I'll say that these options, my number one option would be bring in Teddy Bridgewater. But if that's not the case, I think I got a couple guys, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4, depending on how deep we want to go into this episode, that could help out at the quarterback position.
I dig it. I'm right with you. I'll say this. It's dang near Teddy Bridgewater or bust for me. Dang near. Unless you're talking about making some moves and making some deals. But I think Teddy Bridgewater needs to be a Detroit Lion. I said it during the Hall of Fame game. I said that I hope that I woke up in the morning to Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter saying Teddy Bridgewater is now a Detroit Lion and he is actually already in Detroit. I'm still a little bit disappointed that I have not got that news yet. But Coach Campbell said they talk often. Dang near every day is what he almost leaked for a second, and then he tapered it back. He said, well, we don't talk all the time, but we talk often or whatever. So, Steve, I'm really hoping, praying, and expecting that Teddy Bridgewater is the backup quarterback or Teddy Bridgewater is the call if we get into a situation. Now, I thought it might have happened sooner because of the whole high school suspension situation that went down. We already did an episode about that. So refer back to that one. I won't get into that because we're doing something else here today. But I want this conversation to be this. We took Teddy Bridgewater off of the table. Now we're looking in other places. So Teddy B is now off the table. Me and you both have said that it's Teddy B for us. We would love to have him. Who else we talking?
Well, I was just kind of scouting out some of the other teams' rosters today, seeing who's deep, who's got a lot of quarterbacks, who I don't think is going to carry 4 or 5 quarterbacks on their active roster. And on top of that, I'm on Twitter and I see some names popping up that kind of intrigue me. I start doing a little digging, a little homework. The first name that comes to mind is Jameis Winston of the Cleveland Browns right now. All right. I just look at Cleveland's roster. They have like 17 quarterbacks on their roster right now. We know Kaiser is not playing. Joe Flacco, I don't know. Are they going to go with him? They got Jameis. They drafted 2 rookie quarterbacks in the draft this past season. Are they going to carry 4 into the season? Someone's getting cut, Will. Is it going to be Flacco? Is it going to be Winston? Or no, Winston's in New York right now. I apologize. I'm going to talk about Cleveland in a second. That's why I got a little bit ahead of myself. But Jameis Winston is a name. Still, like they have Jackson Dart they just drafted, and they just picked up Russell Wilson. So I think Jameis might be a little expendable here. I think it's going to take a trade to get him, but I don't think it's a crazy trade. And listen, if you guys are thinking that I'm going to come on here and say, oh man, sell everything for Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert, like we're not naming all those big quarterbacks. Like we're trying to find some realistic options here. I think Jameis is a realistic option to come in 3 or 4 games and get a job done for us, Will.
Jameis, I'll say this. Jameis wouldn't be my first pick, but dang it, Steve, does he intrigue me? He intrigues me. Like the dude throws touchdowns. Now he also throws interceptions.
He throws a lot of interceptions too, yeah.
But the thought of him having play action here in Detroit, having just a run game that's just fierce, gritty, nasty run game, and then just being able to launch the ball 1,000,000 yards. The only downside other than the interceptions is while I know that he is just a walking meme, he's just a walking soundbite. I don't know if I want to listen to him talk. I don't know if I have the time on my hands to listen to these pregame speeches. And listen, Panay's going to be trying to do his thing. I don't know if we can get time in there for Jameis to come in and give a sermon. So it does intrigue me, Steve. Jameis, I do think, because you didn't even talk about, I think they still got
Tommy DeVito, yeah, the Italian stallion.
Yeah, man. So I think there is room out there for maybe Jameis to potentially be expendable, especially if Dart is moving faster than people think that he will be. So I don't know, man. It is intriguing, Steve, but he wouldn't be at the top of my list.
If he's darting up the depth chart, Will, is that what you meant to say?
I like it. I see what you did there. Clever.
He might not be my number 1 option, but I think he's a good option. And again, I'm thinking of a situation where he has to play a quarter of the season, 4 games. Can he go out and go 3-1 with our offense? Yes. I don't think he's ever had an offensive line, a run game, and a wide receiving core ever in his career. He's kind of bounced around since he left Tampa Bay. I know he was with New Orleans, Cleveland, who I misspoke about him being on a minute ago. Now he's with the Giants. Like he's probably been on another team that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. But I just think of a quarter of the season. Who's a guy who's played NFL reps, has NFL stats, has a Heisman Trophy, a national championship. Like he checks a lot of boxes. Former number 1 overall pick. Like he's got the talent. Will, I think he led the league in touchdowns one year, and at the same time led it in interceptions. Like I think he had like 38 touchdowns and like 22 interceptions or something stupid like that.
Just ripping it.
Yeah, he lets it fly. That's a little bit of a problem, but I don't need him to just air it out when he comes to Detroit. Well, I need him to just manage an offense. If he can learn how to just manage an offense, take what's given to him, make all the throws, be smart with the football for 3 or 4 games. I don't know if he's my number 1 pick, but I do think that there's a scenario where the Giants might be looking to have him as their 3rd quarterback, or maybe if we offer a 6th round, 7th round draft pick, maybe that's enough to get a backup quarterback here. Because I'm just looking for peace of mind in Detroit, Will. Right now, I do not have peace of mind about our 2nd quarterback.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I said, it intrigues me. It just wouldn't be my number 1.
Who would be your number 1? You got a guy?
Let's see. That's a great question. Like we said, Teddy Bridgewater is off the table. If we're talking number 1, then this isn't going to be popular. But I think he could come in and win us a couple of football games, or make a little run if he had to, come in a spot duty moment. Carson Wentz is still out there, Steve. Carson Wentz is still out there, and to me, bring him in. He can be something similar to a Jared Goff for a moment. He can be a Band-Aid version of Jared Goff. So if you're telling me Carson Wentz is still available, him. And then there's somebody that's on a team. But if we're talking about somebody, because I believe Carson Wentz is still a free agent, still available. Because last he was with Kansas City Chiefs, I believe, backing up my homie. So it's Carson Wentz would be a guy that I would be interested in. Get him in here. Let him be a solid veteran backup to Jared Goff, somebody that you're not going to have to worry about. He's a pros pro, plug and play. He'll be able to get things done for you. I think he would definitely be an upgrade from Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen. And you could put Hendon Hooker at QB3 and allow him the length of his contract to continue to attempt to develop. And I'm still looking forward to hopefully him playing a little bit better next week in the preseason game. But as it all stands right now, I don't trust Hendon to be the number 2, to turn the keys over to the Ferrari to him. So I think Carson Wentz would give me a warm and fuzzy.
I'm with you. I like that name. He's a former MVP candidate too. Like, was he a number 1 overall pick? Or I know he was in the top 5 or something. He was highly drafted. Just can't think off the top of my head right now. But
look it up while we talk.
Former MVP candidates don't just fall into your lap. And number 2 overall pick. Okay. Yeah. I like it, Will. Does it cost you anything to get him? Listen, you're probably not going to find a very sexy name out there right now that's going to come in and just light up the scoreboard and probably get a 5-6 year deal. We're literally just talking about someone coming in and playing a quarter of the season in an emergency situation. That's all, right? So if we get a guy, top 2 draft pick, former MVP candidate until he hurt his knee a couple years ago. I think that was like 2016. He did something to his knee, but I mean, dude could play football. All right. And I just don't think he ever fully recovered from that knee injury and bounced back to be the type of quarterback he was for that MVP type season. But come in, start 4 games potentially. Well, you're not going to hear any crying and griping from me if Carson Wentz gets signed tomorrow.
Same. I'd be excited about it, man. Like, it's as excited as you get for a backup quarterback, but it would just give me a warm and fuzzy and have me, I don't know, man. It's just, after watching that preseason game, and if we go through the rest of the preseason and it looks similar, every time Jared Goff sneezes, coughs, I'm going to be uncomfortable. If there's people around him, I'm going to be uncomfortable. Get it out of here and get it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Too close. Don't step on my foot.
Yeah. So, yeah, it would just give that warm and fuzzy, man. You got anybody else on your mind?
The other guy I was looking at that's currently on a roster, again, not a sexy name, not going to come in here and blow up and steal anyone's job anytime soon. But Davis Mills for the Houston Texans. I think obviously he's a backup. They're pretty set with CJ Stroud. Could we potentially pluck him away from Houston and put him in the same exact scenario? A guy with some real game experience. Just in 21-22, he was their starter. 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He's kind of like another version of Jameis Winston for me. He can throw the football. He can throw some touchdowns, but he also turns the ball over a bit too much. But if we can just lasso him in and rally around him for 3 or 4 games, I think he'd be another good fit, Will.
Yeah. No, listen, Davis Mills is somebody that I feel like is underrated. He's a little bit underrated. He's a guy that's played some tough football, man. I thought that, man, before they got CJ Stroud, man, I thought that, man, maybe Mills maybe he's okay, man. He's never going to be the MVP of the league, but maybe he's one of those dudes that can be, like that Trent Dilfer, that guy that's just not sexy, but he figures out a way to win you football games. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind if we got him in the building.
Yeah, and then I was looking at Cleveland, misspoke about them earlier. They were just kind of on my mind at the beginning of the episode, but they're carrying 4 quarterbacks right now. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and then the 2 rookies they drafted, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. I don't think you're carrying all 4 of those guys on your roster. So who's going to be the odd man out there? I thought Kenny Pickett got hurt. I'd have to double check on that. But old man Flacco, still wanting to play football, carried the Browns to who did he carry? Yeah, it was the Browns a couple years ago into the playoffs, right? And I mean, this dude's just been in the league for, I don't know, I think he was drafted in like 2001 or something like that. Like, he's been around for a minute. But again, just come in and start a handful of games for us if we need you. MVP, or not an MVP, but a Super Bowl champion, Will. I mean, those aren't just falling out of the sky either. So a guy who knows how to get it done. I know the Ravens had a loaded defense and a good team, but this is a guy who knows how to win a big game. So if we need to put him in, again, four games in the season, I think with our run game, same scenarios, like just come in and manage a football team for a little bit. I just need a warm and fuzzy. I am by no means completely writing Hendon Hooker off. I'm with you. I think I need to see a couple more games, but if I were a betting man, Will, I would say I don't think those games will be as ugly as they were Thursday, but I still don't think it's going to say I'm 100% comfortable with Hendon Hooker as my number 2 quarterback going into the year. I think it'll be something in between.
I got something to say about that, Steve. But before I say it, I got one more guy, and then I'll come back to that and speak to that because I think he will kind of fall into a similar category, a little better, but a similar category. Last guy on my list is Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes. And the reason why I have Danny Dimes on that list is because I truly believe Danny Dimes was thinking that he got himself into an opportunity where he was going to get a prove it situation. Right? I think he thought that he was going to go to the Colts, win the job, and then get an opportunity to prove that he's a starting quarterback in this league, right? All the rumors are saying AR-15 is looking like a stud right now. And listen, it's preseason, it's training camp, right? So who knows what it's gonna fall out into being. But if AR-15 ends up being a stud this season, ends up taking that step forward, then I think Danny Dimes is going to be in a situation to where he wants to go somewhere and try to be a starting quarterback. I think that he still believes in his heart of hearts that he's a starter in this league. That said, I wouldn't stay and back up AR-15. I'd want to go to an organization where I could get another year better, similar to the Minnesota Vikings situation. So if AR-15 is a young stud and he looks like he's going to be the franchise quarterback for this team for the next decade or so or whatever, right? He takes off, then why not go get him if I'm the Detroit Lions, if we're in a situation to where we need to make something happen because, we don't have anybody to back up Jared and we're on a Super Bowl run, right? So I'm not looking at the Colts as a team to be looking to try to win a Super Bowl next season with AR-15 leading the charge. So that said, I think it's a boom or bust move now. I think that if you get the Danny Dimes that's tripping over his feet, it's you're not really in the greatest situation. But if we get the potential that Danny Dimes could be, because I think that he can throw the football around, and he also is slept on with his athleticism.
He's athletic, very athletic for a quarterback.
Yeah, dude can run, man. If he ever figures out how to put everything together, I think the dude could be a successful quarterback in this league, man. So for those reasons, if you could get him for the dirt cheap, like I said before, I've been seeing guys like Justin Fields go for next to nothing. So if you could get a Danny Dimes who's upset that he didn't get an opportunity to play, and now he's frustrated with the AR-15 situation because he thought he was going to get the job, he doesn't get it, and he wants out of there, maybe you go grab him, man. It's just another guy that I'm throwing in. But the point that I had floating around in my mind is I wonder this, Steve. I think about a team like the Baltimore Ravens, and I already mentioned Trent Dilfer. In Detroit, we have talked about maybe there being a little bit of evidence that this defense could be special. This could be a special defense, a special group finally. Maybe we have a top 5, top 8, top 10 defense finally in Detroit to go along with our offense that is going to be tremendously dangerous. Steve, do we need to have a great quarterback when you got a top 5, top 3 tight end, when you got 2, I'm going to say, to me, in my opinion, when I'm talking about St. Brown and Jameson Williams, I'm going to say, to me, 2 top 15 receivers. To me, that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think J-Mo and St. Brown are 2 top 15 receivers, and all the weapons that you got around them. I think we got 2 top 10 running backs on our team. I think we got a solid offensive lineman. I think this offensive line is going to be better than people think that it's going to be. Is Graham Glasgow going to be Frank Ragnow? No, but I think he's going to be doggone good at that center position. I think that the worst position for him in that interior was left guard, and he was a little bit banged up. I'm expecting him to play substantially better at center. Now, we got 2 young, hungry dogs playing guard positions, man. Then you got Decker, and we know exactly what Decker is, and we know what Panay is. I don't think this line is going to be bad as people think. So, I hate to even preface it like that. I don't think this line is going to be bad at all. I think it's going to be good. Now, is it going to be the best in the league? Maybe not. I think we will get into that top 5 conversation, though, towards the end of the season once those 2 guards really gel together and figure it out. And they're surrounded. You got a veteran in the middle of it, and you got 2 veterans on the outside of it. It's not going to be as dire as people think it's going to be. Now, when you look at that, Steve, it just makes me think. You got all of those weapons. Do you really need Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Do you really need, you know what I mean? Like, you should be able to manage that offense with, I don't know, Steve Perkins. Maybe we just mark Steve Perkins out there and let him do this.
I could definitely hand the ball. I could probably get a real good 25-yard pass in me. If you want anything more than that, I'm going to have to get a real good running start or be playing on a windy day outside. Well, because I don't know that I got it anymore.
But I don't think we need a whole lot, man, at that quarterback position. Now, if you can get more, obviously you want more, but if you can just manage this thing with all of those weapons, I think we're sitting in a good spot, man. So for those reasons, that's what makes me interested in a guy like Danny Dimes, man. I think that you give him every weapon in the book, then things will be different than when he was out there with the Giants, man, running for his life with a terrible offensive line, play at the helm of an offense that everybody knows that you're trying to hand the ball to Saquon Barkley. Like, it wasn't a mystery what was going on with the Giants. Better situation. I think he plays a lot better.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the name. I like it for the position we're talking about him being in, is just an emergency contingency quarterback. My only pushback is, if I'm the Colts or a Colts fan or the Colts organization, I'm not sure that I'm still 100% sure about Anthony Richardson, because his whole tapping out last year, subbing out of the game, I know that rubbed his teammates wrong. I saw a lot of interviews. A lot of people did not like that he did that. I think this is kind of a prove it year for him in a way. I just don't know how big that leash is for Anthony Richardson. So with that being said, maybe they hold on to Daniel Jones as their contingency and they are not willing to part with him, because I can kind of see that world. And then, yeah, there are other two quarterbacks, Riley Leonard and Jason Bean, really nothing to write home about there. So I think it's kind of AR-15 or Daniel Jones's game, because I just don't know that AR is 100% bought in by the organization and his team will. But no, I don't think the defense needs to be elite. That's what I'm talking about, or the quarterback needs to be elite if we have a top tier defense. If we're talking about any quarterback out there and our defense is playing lights out football, getting some turnovers, some 3 and outs, playing some field position games a little bit more, and we're getting that elite offense the ball 2 or 3 extra times per game, Will, I expect to score at least 10 points if we got 3 extra possessions. I think that's more than fair. So no, I with this offense, we just need a guy. If Jared goes down, who can carry the pail of water for a couple games? And I just don't think that Hendon is either ready or that he's going to be the guy. Again, not writing him off yet. I just don't like what I see. I think he had a golden opportunity on Thursday where the second place job was lost in the first half. And then he went out there and didn't really do much to win it or seal the deal, in my opinion. So I'm not sure. I definitely think he's getting the rest of the preseason, but these are some names that I'd like to see maybe 2 or 3 weeks from now, if we haven't felt a little bit better. And I don't think that I will. But if I will, if I'm wrong and Hendon goes out there and lights up the scoreboard, we'll come on here and talk about it. Maybe our minds change. Maybe he can be the guy. You know, we'll see. But right now, that is not how I'm feeling, Will. That's all I got.
Yeah, same here, man. Guys, please leave it in the comments. How you feeling about the names that we named? And is there anybody that we missed that you like to see potentially as the Detroit Lions #2 quarterback?
Yeah, just some names we floated out. If you guys are feeling comfortable, that's fine. If there's some other names out there, throw it down. We're just talking about some guys who can give us a warm and fuzzy, a little peace of mind while I sleep at night worrying about what could happen with Jared Goff. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.